Yeah, then we can get, I think Dan Severn's still around. We can get him to come back. We can do 666 on his head and it'll be good. Did you guys hear about that story? You guys ever heard the Dan Severn story?
No, I don't know about that
dude.
one.
Oh my God. All right, good. I'm glad I get to explain it to you guys because it's one of my favorite wrestling stories ever. Okay, so you know Dan Severn was in WWE for a little bit. He just held like the NWA title.
And he came in with the UFC title.
Yeah, he just came in with like 4 different titles. Jim Cornette's like, look at this guy.
Right.
So the year is 1999, boys. I'm setting the table for you. It's the 1999 Royal Rumble, and Dan Severn's made in his Royal Rumble debut. So they're backstage during this Royal Rumble or whatever. The Undertaker's still, doing his satanic shit, I'm pretty sure at this point. And the road agents, they want Dan Severn. They walk up to Dan Severn. They go, Dan, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you draw 666 on your forehead, and you're going to be one of the Undertaker's disciples. And of course, Dan Severn is the most no-nonsense, like straightforward, small-town Christian man, I think, in the history of pro wrestling. So them going to Dan and saying, please draw 666 on your forehead. Of course, he's not going to do that. He's from a small town. Like if you draw 666 on your forehead, like that word gets around and shit. And of course, Dan Severn, to hell. Yeah, Dan Severn's not thinking about making money or the UFC or anything. He said, well, I can't go back to my small town if I draw 666 on my forehead, because that's just Dan Severn.
My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
He was like Dan Severn is like the nicest fucking talking dude ever, and he's like the biggest ass kicker of all time. But they're like, draw 666 on your forehead and you'll be one of Undertaker's disciples. And he said, no, I don't think I will. And the road agent said, well, Dan, if you don't do that, then we can make things really hard for you here. And Dan said, well, what does that mean exactly? And he said, well, Dan, that means we can make you lose. We can make you lose on purpose. And he said, you know what? You can ask me to lose a match, because I could walk out into this Royal Rumble right now and I'll turn this fantasy into a reality. So there was a fucking dude. There is a timeline somewhere in space where Dan Severn in the 1999 Royal Rumble goes out and sits in the ring and shoots on 29 other wrestlers. He said that he would have gone out there and sat in the ring and then waited the timeout, and he would have kicked everyone's ass on the way out there if they made him do that.
Oh my
god! That's like one of the most badass things I've ever heard. You can ask me to lose a match. Oh my god, dude, that's crazy. He said nowhere in his contract does it say I have to lose. I was like, damn, dude, this dude's crazy.